Hello and welcome to HW News English. I am Shubham Chohan. Today, Maharashtra bid farewell to Ajit Pawar, the Deputy Chief Minister of the state and Chief of the Nationalist Congress Party. Ajit Pawar and four others were killed in a devastating plane crash in Baramati yesterday morning. Once this news came in, you had everybody who was shell shocked. Politicians across party lines, the Pawar family, of course, and supporters of Ajit Pawar. Everybody was in disbelief, just trying to come to terms with what really has happened and why and how did this crash take place, and the fact that they have to now bear the loss of their very own Ajit Pawar. Today, all roads led to Baramati, where the funeral of Ajit Pawar took place. He was cremated with full state honors in his hometown. Now, Baramati is a town that is associated with the Pawars. It is their home turf. It's a town that Ajit Pawar has represented, has loved, and cultivated for almost 4 decades. And as it turned out, this was also the place where he breathed his last. Thousands were present at the Vidya Pratishthan grounds in Baramati to pay their final tribute to Ajit Pawar, the chief of the NCP. Thousands turned up, they were emotional, they were overcome with grief, and it was on display. The sheer love for Ajit Pawar and the fact that he's no more was unbearable for them to even think, let alone watch. You had politicians across party lines attending the funeral today, starting from Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, newly elected BJP President Nitin Nabin, and the who's who of Maharashtra politics, really, starting from Sushil Kumar Shinde to MNS Chief Raj Thackeray, everybody, Praful Patel, Sunil Tatkare, Chhagan Bhujbal, all of these top leaders of Maharashtra were in attendance for the funeral today, including, of course, the Pawar family. 84-year-old Sharad Pawar, who lost his nephew Ajit Pawar in this plane crash. Supriya Sule lost her cousin brother in this air crash. And Sunetra Pawar lost her husband, Ajit Pawar, yesterday in Baramati. The entire Pawar family was present, including Rohit Pawar, Yugendra Pawar, everybody was present. And it was the sons of Ajit Pawar, Parth Pawar and Jay Pawar, who performed the final rites and lit the funeral pyre of their late father, as Maharashtra bid a teary-eyed farewell to their beloved Dada, Ajit Dada Pawar. Now, before this funeral took place at the Vidya Pratishthan grounds, the mortal remains of Ajit Pawar were taken to Katewadi in Baramati Taluka. This is the ancestral village of Ajit Pawar. His remains were taken to his residence there, where you had MNS Chief Raj Thackeray and, of course, the supporters of Ajit Pawar uh, wanting to get a final glimpse and pay their tributes to the departed soul. From there, his remains were shifted to Vidya Pratishthan grounds, where everybody was there. Thousands, like I said, were present. The visuals really tell a story of as to how much did Baramati love Ajit Pawar. You had people coming in from different parts of the state just so that they could catch a last glimpse of Ajit Pawar. In fact, while we are speaking of Ajit Pawar, there were four others as well who died in this plane crash, who we must not forget. Their cremation also took place in their respective hometowns today. You had the pilot in command, Sumit Kapoor, co-pilot Shambhavi Pathak, crew member Pinky Mali, and Ajit Pawar's security officer, Vidib Jadhav. All four of them were cremated in their respective hometowns with, of course, their families shattered and inconsolable. Now, the moment this tragic story came in that Ajit Pawar was no more, that there was this plane crash, everybody started wondering as to what went wrong. Everyone was searching for answers. Was it the plane? Was it some technical fault in the plane? Was it a pilot error? What was it that really went wrong? Everybody began wondering. You had the CCTV footages that came in after the crash that showed that at 8:46 a.m. the final moments of the plane were visible, where you could just see the plane uh, turning slightly, then straight away crashing into the ground before you had a huge explosion. In fact, eyewitnesses say that there were at least 4 to 5 explosions once the plane crashed and it hit a ground on the side of the runway at the Baramati airfield. Now, of course, the exact cause will only be ascertained with a proper inquiry that is being put into place. But prima facie, what officials and even the Civil Aviation Minister of India, Ram Mohan Naidu, have been saying, that prima facie, it looks like this could have been a visibility issue, that the pilot may not have been able to judge exactly while landing, and this error in judgment could have led to this crash. Prima facie, that is the reason that is being given as far as this crash was concerned. In fact, through the course of yesterday, in the latter half, you had the government put out a statement where they gave a sequence of events as to what really happened. So at 8:10 a.m., you had this charter plane carrying Ajit Pawar and 4 others taking off from the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport in Mumbai. They were on their way to Baramati, where Ajit Pawar was scheduled to address meetings. Baramati is about 250 to 260 kilometers away from Mumbai in plane. Shouldn't have taken more than 30 to 40 minutes. Now, the government statement says that at 8:18 a.m. there was contact established by the pilots with the Baramati airfield, and they were given a go-ahead to land on runway number 11 at the Baramati airfield. But then at that time, you had the crew that reported that there was a visibility issue. They couldn't see the runway, and then they were advised to sort of take a turnaround, and they were advised to take a turnaround and say, so they executed that standard go around when the pilots can't see the runway. They go back in the air and they take another round before trying another attempt to land. This is what happened in this case, and that is what happened in this case as well, where after the first turnaround, a second attempt was made at landing. Now, as per this timeline from the government, at 8:43 a.m., the aircraft was cleared to land for a second time, but no readback was noticed. Readback meaning you did not have the pilots confirming that they are about to land or they can see the runway. And within minutes, you had this entire crash taking place where the chartered plane carrying Ajit Pawar just crashed on the side of the Baramati airfield. This morning, the Civil Aviation Ministry put out a statement saying that a three-member committee has been formed to probe this devastating crash to ascertain what really went wrong in its final stages. In fact, in their statement, and I will read out that statement to you, that has been put out by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. They said that a team of the AAIB, which is the Aircraft Accidents Investigation Board, their team, along with another three-member team from the DGCA Mumbai Regional Office, reached the crash site on the day of the accident itself. The MOCA has said that the investigation is progressing expeditiously, and they will ensure a thorough, transparent, and time-bound inquiry into this incident takes place. Now, what has also been confirmed is that the black box has been found from this aircraft, which basically includes the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. These two are extremely crucial to determine what really went wrong in those final few moments before the plane crashed and you had this massive tragedy unfolding in Baramati. What aviation officials are now saying is that, based on the information that has been coming in, is that the final words of the pilot were, "Oh shit." That is what is being reported right now. Of course, all of this, the data from the flight data recorder, the cockpit voice recorder, all of it is crucial evidence to determine what went wrong in those final moments. And that is something that we'll have to wait and watch. The Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu has assured that the probe will happen in a time-bound fashion, and there won't be delay on that front. So that is what the minister said. Now, just a short while back, we also published an interview with Captain Sam Thomas of the Airline Pilot Association. Neelu Vyas of HW News English spoke to Captain Sam Thomas on what could have gone wrong and all of the technicalities surrounding this air crash. And here's a snippet from that conversation for you.
Very unfortunate, but this is not the first time that it's happening, and very responsibly, I would like to say that maybe this is not the last time it's happening either. What we have is the reported visibility was 3,200 meters. Actually, that is sufficient to spot the runway at 3 kilometers. And I dare say that this is not the correct visibility passed on. People have been passing judgment looking at the CCTV footage and saying that there was, plenty of visibility. These are foolish statements. The visibility that matters is.
You are saying, let me interrupt you here. You're making an important point. You're saying that the visibility was not enough, but even then, the pilots or the crew members were told that the visibility is good enough to land the aircraft.
Now, that's where I was coming to. When you fly these important people, the pilots are put under pressure, not directly by the person. Say, Mr. Ajit Pawar would never have gone and told Sumit, go and land this airplane. No, it's paraphernalia that accompanies this. The people who book the charters. Yesterday, one of the panelists in a show had picked up, said that the same company had a crash in Mumbai, but nobody even came to know. I mean, nobody even talks of it because the public memory is short. But we are not expecting the public and the journalists to speak about it. We want the Air Accident Investigation Bureau. Have you completed that exercise of closing that investigation? No. Any incident that happens, there is a human mindset to create a conspiracy out of this. Since this is my field of specialization, I know that there is no conspiracy. No.
Which brings us to the last big political question. What happens next? Who succeeds Ajit Pawar? What happens to the Nationalist Congress Party? Let's try and answer the first question first. Ajit Pawar didn't have a formal anointed successor of his own. You, of course, have his wife, Sunetra Pawar, who was made a Rajya Sabha MP last year after she lost the Lok Sabha elections to Supriya Sule in Baramati. You have Sunetra Pawar, and you have two sons of Ajit Pawar, Parth and Jay. Parth, in fact, was defeated in the 2019 elections. And since then, both the sons, in fact, have been very low-key in the party's affairs, but have been there by their father's side. Of course, not as proactively and not as much as out and not as much out there as one would want. So one will have to really wait and watch on who succeeds Ajit Pawar. What we are given to understand right now that the NCP faction of Ajit Pawar has urged Sunetra Pawar, the wife of Ajit Pawar, to contest the by-elections that will happen because of Ajit Pawar's demise. And her name is also reportedly being floated for the post of the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra to succeed Ajit Pawar. Because remember, Ajit Pawar's death has left a huge vacuum when it comes to the politics of Maharashtra. And it really is an unknown and uncharted territory for everybody, particularly the NCP. Now, that is one sort of aspect when you talk of Ajit Pawar's NCP. And the other big question, what happens to the Nationalist Congress Party at large? In recent weeks, there was a lot of chatter about the two Pawars reuniting, the two NCPs coming back together, that there could be a merger of the Nationalist Congress Party. Reports suggest that finishing touches were being given to this merger. But before that, before it could be finalized, Ajit Pawar tragically died. So a big question mark has been left on that as well. And there are, what Ajit Pawar's death has done is cast a shadow on the future of how the NCP would operate. And we've seen this in the past as well, that when a prominent politician dies in such unexpected circumstances, the politics of that particular party is altered. You saw that with Gopinath Munde, top leader of the BJP at one point in 2014. He was made a minister in the Modi government, and he unfortunately died in a road crash. And suddenly, post that, you had the likes of Devendra Fadnavis coming up and then being the leader that he has been over the last decade. And one wouldn't be surprised if there is a new chapter that begins when it comes to the politics of the Nationalist Congress Party. But again, let's go back to the question that we were talking about as to what happens to the NCP. If you look at Ajit Pawar's NCP, he has leaders like Praful Patel, Chhagan Bhujbal, Sunil Tatkare, Dhananjay Munde, the big regional satraps, their district satraps in a way, by his side. But there is no one consensus leader who can stand up and who the entire cadre, who all MLAs and all legislators of the NCP can support, which is where you had talks of the two NCPs coming together in the recently held municipal corporation elections in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad. You had the Sharad Pawar NCP and the Ajit Pawar NCP fight as an alliance. Of course, they didn't taste as much electoral success as they would have wanted, but there is talk and there was talk of the two NCPs uniting. Now, if that happens, if the entire flock of Ajit Pawar that has stayed with Ajit Pawar all this while, if they go back to Sharad Pawar, then that leads to two more questions. A, who leads them? Will it be Sharad Pawar? Does he have it in him to continue? Remember, Sharad Pawar is 84, 85 years old. Does he still have fuel in the tank to go chart out new strategies and lead the party from scratch, to lead this united NCP from scratch? The other question is, if Supriya Sule does, will it be acceptable to everybody, particularly those who chose to side with Ajit Pawar when it came to the split? And the other big question is, if the two NCPs unite, which way will they go? Will they go in the ruling NDA, or will they be with the India alliance? Because when Ajit Pawar split, he was very clear in his mind and in his comments that he's going for development, and he's someone who's always liked to be on the right side of power. And he made the switch. He split from his uncle and took a bunch of MLAs with him. And that is something that Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule will have to decide as to what really happens next with, in case the two NCPs merge and come back together at this point. But one thing is for certain, Ajit Pawar's loss is a huge one in the context of Maharashtra's politics. It is a void that will never be filled. And you don't have leaders in today's politics of the kind that Ajit Pawar was. He was outspoken, he was vocal, he did not mince his words, he landed into controversies, he had corruption charges against him. All of the aspects that could really define Maharashtra politics, Ajit Pawar was sort of one entity that defined it. And with him now gone in such an unexpected fashion, expect the course of Maharashtra politics to change, possibly forever. That's all we have for this report. Thanks for watching.